Well, we've had a great week so far. Let's get on with this one and meet our first guest. He claims that he dates 200 different women a year. Says that dating so many women is kind of costly, and he admits that lately he's put himself on a dating budget. Please welcome Michael Daniel. Michael, welcome back. Well, let's see. What kind of things have you cut back on dating budget?
Well, for example, I cut out on the $150 crab leg dinners. It just became way too expensive to do that.
3 or 4 times a week, you betcha.
Yeah, about 50 grand a year. So that was putting me in the poorhouse, so now I just take them out and buy a drink or go have a cup of coffee.
We're going to remind everybody what happened yesterday. Our studio audience saw Michael's 3 choices. They voted for one, and we're going to take a look at all 3 women again today. First, there's Patti. She admits that the only exercise she gets is moving her jaw. Patti talks a lot. Bridget would rather stay home and clean her apartment than date a man who's not well built. And Susan claims that most of the men that she's been meeting are pretty stupid. The audience vote was recorded yesterday. We're going to get to that a little bit later, but right now Michael's going to tell us who he chose.
I chose Patti.
He chose Patti. She's backstage, so Patti Swanson. Hi, Patti.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Just make yourself at home back there, okay? All right. Well, tell me about the date.
Well, I called Patti up, and she seemed real pushy on the phone.
Pushy?
Pushy. Real pushy. She
In
was
what way?
She was like grilling me on the phone. I felt like I was in a job interview or something.
Well, of course, she doesn't know who you are. It's really
You
a blind
only
date
work
for her.
part-time.
Excuse me?
He only works part-time?
I was interviewing for a job.
Oh, I see. Well, now, well, tell me how he came across on the phone. Did he come across as somebody who dates a lot? And, 200 women a year is a lot.
200 women a year because he can't get the same date twice, so he's got to date all these different people.
Well, that's an interesting twist, okay? Well, what happens next?
Well, so we both lived quite a distance apart from one another. So I convinced Patti to meet me halfway. And
Did you mind doing that, Patti?
Well, yeah, I did mine. I mean, a real gentleman would have come by and picked me up, but no, I had to decide where we were going to meet. So once I decided, he didn't know it, but it was about an hour and a half from where he was and only about 20 minutes from where I live. But a real gentleman would have picked me up.
So you get there, I suppose, and you meet her.
Right, I meet her.
He's a half an hour late.
25 minutes.
27 and a half.
Oh,
So what'd you think when you saw her?
I was real disappointed, Chuck.
You think you were disappointed? Think about how I felt. I waited a half an hour, and for what?
Well, how did you feel, Patti?
We'll leave our comments to ourselves.
Well, I mean, really, because I'm looking, Michael's not a bad-looking guy. He's a nice-looking man.
Well, then why does he have 200 different dates a year?
I don't know.
Something's got to be wrong.
Well, I don't know that. So,
anyway, she looked worse in person than she did on her video. What it was...
At least you had a video to go by.
What it was is her hair was straight, and she was flat as a board, Chuck.
I don't know what kind of woman you're dating, but maybe my brains aren't in my chest. You just couldn't handle a real woman.
So we're off to a great start.
All right, we're off to a great start.
Where do you go from here?
Well, we're getting acquainted over a drink. And this girl, that's all she does is talk. She talks so much. I mean, it was incredible.
Hey, Chuck, you know how much I talk? I talk a lot when I'm bored. That's why I talk so much. I know. I did talk 900 miles an hour because I was bored. If I even wanted to listen to what he was saying, I would have been quiet to listen.
What bored you so much about it? About him or about the situation?
Everything. He wasn't even a gentleman. He didn't even, when we went to go have dinner, he didn't even pull out the chair. He didn't even organize the evening. It took a real woman to organize the evening.
Chuck, let me tell you about Patti. She was a Miss Know-It-All. She's someone that knows something or everything about anything. I mean, she just thought that she knows everything.
So you found this out, and it's kind of disintegrating before your eyes, and now where do you go?
So we go over to have dinner. We go over to the table. We sit down at the table, and she continues to just talk. Miss Encyclopedia is just rambling away.
Well, like about what, for instance? I mean, can you
about
remember?
Nothing.
Oh.
She's not making any sense about anything. She's just rambling on. So, I mean, I have to call the waiter over at one point in time just to get a break from listening to her. I mean, I can call the waiter over, so I can get out of it.
Well, now, what do you do after dinner? Do you decide just to call it off? Or?
During the course of dinner, she tells me how she's a pool shark and that she can, like, whip me in pool, no problem. So we make a bet. We go find a pool hall, and we go into this pool hall. And what is that? I mean, I just cleaned her in no time at all. I mean,
Chuck,
Yeah.
wait a minute. He was wearing boots.
He's wearing boots?
Men that wear boots. I mean, please. You know, something's got to be wrong with them. Either they're too short or they're too little, and they do something to lift themselves. So he comes in these boots. So you know what? I didn't want to beat him in pool. I felt bad for the poor guy. I had let him win. Now,
That's the weirdest thing I ever heard in my life,
I
Patty.
am a good sport. I am a good sport.
By the way, do you have my $20 on the bed?
Better do it to you than she chatted it.
So how did the date end?
Well, obviously things weren't clicking, and so we just, like, parted ways.
That was it.
That was
Just
it.
said goodbye.
Just said goodbye.
She got in her car. You
We
got
didn't even
yours.
say goodbye.
I just left, Chuck.
Boy, this is...
Yeah, you...
I apologize to both of you. This is a terrible date. Guys, let's take a look and see what the audience picked for you. Maybe they know something. Sure, they picked Patty too. 53%. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess there's no reason to talk about this. To either one of you. Well, Patty, all I can say is I'm sorry that things didn't work out. Maybe we'll see you under better circumstances.
I hope so.
Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
on the show.
Thank you.
And Michael, same to you. Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate having you. We're going to come back with another couple. Stay with us.